Why then do so many companies still rely on agencies? Because like traditionally that was the thing. You couldn't execute things yourself. So everything you did, like your story, had to go through an external agency that was like many people. Why do so many teams still operate that way? Are there valid reasons for having an agency or not?
Let's be careful not to set it up as an either or conversation. I think it's an and conversation with in-house and agency relationships. I think they're both evolving, right? And even in the 5 years since I've been running Lution, it's evolved even since then. But if I go way back, the reason that the traditional agency model where brands and businesses would rely on creative agencies to come up with their ideas
Hmm.
and media agencies to do the strategy and the media buying and production partners to go and produce things. That was because at the time, those capabilities were infrequently used within the business and what a business might consider non-core capabilities, right? So the idea of making a TVC, for example, or coming up with an idea and writing a script, that would happen once a year, maybe a couple of times a year, depending on the business and the brand. And so the concept of having people inside the business who had those skills and capabilities to the level that you would want them to have them, expertise, it didn't make a ton of sense to have people inside the business to do that. But if you fast forward and you've got all these channels now, and consumers are consuming content in many, many more channels than they were 15 or 20 years ago. So the idea of producing content and creative for a brand has gone from, well, you need a TVC and some outdoor and a radio ad and maybe some sponsorship and experiential activations to you need to fill up all these pipes with content, and often you need to refresh it really frequently and regularly. And then what comes with that is the planning and buying and optimizing of the media channels. And all of a sudden, the work of producing content and creative and managing media channels and community management and optimizing media investments, that's a day in and day out job, where in the past that was a kind of a campaign based job that would be somewhat infrequent for many businesses.
Yep.
And so that demand, which is all come off the back of the digital evolution and the need for brands to be connecting with consumers in so many different channels these days, that I don't think that's going to go back. I think that's here to stay. Those kind of capabilities, creative capabilities, production capabilities, media, digital, even marketing operations and the tech and the tools and the automation capabilities, they are now core capabilities. So it makes sense for businesses to have them within the business. With that said, there are some of those capabilities which make sense for agencies or external partners
So,
to
so which
provide.
ones would they be though? Let's get specific because just last week